Black Ops 6 officially launched a month and a half ago, and it's clear to see that it's been a major success. In fact, it's actually been the most successful launch month in Call of Duty history in terms of total players, hours played, and matches played. It's also been one of the least polarizing COD games in a long time, as most people are enjoying it and playing it a lot. However, it would not be a Call of Duty game if there weren't any problems. From launch, many problems were apparent, from skill-based matchmaking to poor server latency, bad spawns, underwhelming maps, broken game chat, and I could go on forever. However, this year, the rise of a rumor has slowly been filling the minds of Black Ops 6 players. This rumor is about skill-based damage. Essentially, skill-based damage entails that higher skilled players with higher accuracy rates are punished by dealing less damage from their guns, essentially quote-unquote equaling the playing field for worse players by nerfing the better player. And today, our mission is to get to the bottom of this myth and find out if it's really real or just fake. If our conclusions favor skill-based damage as real, I think Treyarch and Activision are doing something extremely unfair and unethical, essentially screwing over their more loyal fan base, which tend to be better players. Now, without further ado, let's really get to the bottom of this. Is skill-based damage actually real? Before we get into skill-based damage, we really have to start with the first skill-based system introduced in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, being skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking is a system created to help keep casual players staying on the game longer by influencing matchmaking system using their data. Now, this data mostly tracks your kills, deaths, wins, losses, and game modes, but there is some more to it. Basically, this ensures that lower skilled players are in lobbies with other lower skilled players to keep the games as equal as possible. Now, this really does not seem so bad, so why all the hate? Well, even though for the largest majority of the player base, which happens to be casual players, the system does work well. However, for more hardcore fans of the series and returning players from older games, these players are actually punished for being better at the game. The better you are, the better players you have to go up against, and therefore the more you get punished. If you are above average and just want to play and have some fun, trying out some weapons that aren't meta or doing some weird fun strats, you are going to get absolutely destroyed because you have no chance unless you are sweating every single game if you want to win. This obviously is not fun. The unfortunate truth, however, about skill-based matchmaking is that although it screws over the loyal fan base, it appeals to the larger casual fan base. And Call of Duty has never been bigger, so they don't have a reason to stop doing skill-based matchmaking in the future. If Activision and COD have gone low enough to incorporate a system like skill-based matchmaking, why stop there? Surprisingly, skill-based damage is not a new concept, with people talking about it in Modern Warfare 2, 2022, and even Warzone. These rumors were smaller and they were usually quickly addressed and not spun out of control like they were in Black Ops 6. So, why have these rumors been spreading around in Black Ops 6? With the state of the internet and short video culture being so apparent, it's easier than ever to share quick clips of people, quote unquote, experiencing skill-based damage to TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Reels. These app algorithms incentivize engagement, so it's easy to label a clip as skill-based damage, post it, and have higher engagement than usual due to people debating it in the comments. Controversy does well, and skill-based damage is definitely controversial. So, is it actually real? Well, I spent time watching countless clips, breaking them down frame by frame, as well as outside research, and I was able to come to the conclusion, but not yet. First, I want to talk about patents. 3 years ago, people found a patent submitted by Activision about controlling damage, as well as other properties that will negatively affect higher skilled players in order to make the game more fair for less skilled players. I mean, this is a real patent after all, so how do we explain this? Drifter has an amazing video going extremely in depth about this patent, which is going to be linked in the description down below, and coming to the conclusion that it is not for Call of Duty, but for another largely PvE Activision game, being Skylanders, where players may be affected to promote team play. Now, this is all very sketchy. However, what most people tend not to include when they're talking about this patent is that this is actually not for any Call of Duty game. Activision is a lot bigger than just COD, and these patents are for their game Skylanders. Now, I'm not trying to excuse this, as this is super scummy. However, there is no reason for people to spread these rumors and purposely leave out the part that applies for Skylanders, unless they are purposely trying to spread misinformation and push a narrative. If there was skill-based matchmaking in COD, we would know it, as there would have to be irrefutable evidence. There are YouTubers like Exclusive Ace, for instance, whose channel solely focuses on testing every single small detail in COD. And I'm sure there are many more testers as well who would have eventually found some proof that skill-based damage is actually real. So for these reasons, I'm concluding that skill-based damage most likely is not real in Call of Duty. So, if skill-based damage isn't real, then why do people feel it? I mean, even you could have felt that you hit way more shots than your opponent did, but still died. Well, I think this comes down to a multitude of reasons. Firstly, server latency. This has been a big issue in Black Ops 6, and still to this day has not been addressed. Now, Treyarch are not exactly new to poor server latency at the start of their games, as it happened with the launch of Cold War, Black Ops 3, and even Black Ops 2. Poor server latency causes a multitude of issues, which can really affect the game. Sometimes it feels like you die instantly by someone, but if you watch their replay, you were staring at them for 3 whole seconds before you died, even though it did not play out like that on your screen. I encourage more people to watch their kill cams for anything weird. It usually shows a different story which can be blamed on just poor server latency. Poor server latency also affects hit registration, which makes you feel like you should be hitting your shots, but in reality they're just going right through your opponents. This happens to all players, but you only notice it when it happens to you, not to someone else after you kill them and they miss all their shots. Lastly, couple both of these factors with limb multipliers, meaning that you actually do deal less damage when shooting at arms and legs. It definitely creates the environment for people to think that skill-based damage could actually be real. At the end of the day, it doesn't seem as skill-based damage is actually a real thing in COD. However, more of like a combination between poor server latency, poor hit detection, and limb multipliers. If skill-based damage was actually real, how would anyone be able to rise above other players? As the better you are, the more you'd get punished. Pro players and other extremely high-level players would struggle to keep their high KD. For instance, iMarksman, which is one of the biggest search and destroy creators, has a similar KD that he's had in all the past Call of Duties. But if this one had skill-based damage, why is it not a lot lower than it was last year, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago? Skill-based damage is being kept relevant by clickbaiting YouTubers who are purposely misleading their audiences to spark controversy and therefore boost their own engagement. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!